Welcome to a journey through Germany's rarest and most valuable coins, hidden treasures with stories of history, rarity, and incredible worth. From forgotten pfennigs to legendary marks, these coins aren't just currency, they're million-dollar artifacts. Stay tuned as we reveal the top German coins worth fortunes today. Top 4. Imagine holding a tiny coin that once jingled in the pocket of someone walking through post-war Germany, a country rebuilding itself from ashes. The year is 1949. A new era begins as the Federal Republic of Germany is established. In the same year, a humble coin was minted, the 5 pfennig with an unassuming little F mint mark. At first glance, it's nothing more than a small copper coin. But this single piece of metal carries with it an extraordinary story of history, scarcity, and value that has stunned collectors around the world. The F mint mark stands for Stuttgart, one of the main mints in Germany. In 1949, Germany began issuing its own coins after the end of World War II. Most coins from that year were produced in high numbers. But for the 5 pfennig coin with the F mark, something unusual happened. Only a limited number were ever struck. While millions of others were made with different mint marks, the F version remained a whisper, a rare whisper. In the history of European coinage, this coin didn't just survive a political transition. It represents it. The 5 pfennig became a symbol of change, moving from war-torn silence into a hopeful currency of peace and recovery. Few people realized at the time that this particular minting would become an icon of numismatic fascination. It was spent, lost, and forgotten by most. And yet, a few remained, hidden in drawers, passed unknowingly from hand to hand, their value increasing with each decade. What makes this coin so rare is not just the mintage, although that's a big part of it. It's also about condition. The few remaining examples in pristine, uncirculated states are treasures. Some are so well preserved, they almost seem untouched by time. Sharp details, clean edges, and original mint luster make them stand out like works of miniature art. The journey of this coin is also a tale of discovery. Coin collectors, known as numismatists, began to notice something unusual in the late 20th century. While reviewing catalogs and auction records, they found that the 1949 F was nearly impossible to find in good condition, and even harder to find at all. It became one of the missing keys in any serious German coin collection. Its scarcity turned it into a legend. A coin born in the shadows of post-war Europe, rising to international recognition. It reminds us that value isn't always obvious. Sometimes, it hides in plain sight, in something as small as a 5 pfennig. As the years passed, its myth grew. High-end auction houses began listing the 1949 F as a premium item, drawing attention from collectors not just in Germany, but worldwide. Each time one surfaced, the price climbed. More collectors, more curiosity, more competition, and still, no one expected the moment when this humble coin would cross into the realm of millions. In 2016, an example in mint state condition was examined and authenticated by experts. It later appeared in a private sale, catching the eyes of elite collectors and institutions. After a brief but intense bidding war, it was sold for a stunning sum. In paragraph 18 of this story, this journey from copper coin to global gem, we find its true value revealed. One of the rarest known examples of the 1949 F 5 pfennig coin was sold for an astonishing $1.43 million, marking a historic moment in German numismatic history. Its worth isn't just in metal or mintage, it's in the narrative. It's in the transformation of a nation, and the whispers of stories told through currency. A simple coin, minted in modest numbers, surviving through decades, ultimately becoming a priceless relic of human history. Some might look at a small coin and see 5 pfennigs. Others look closer, and they see a masterpiece. Top 3. It begins with a small coin, easy to miss, light in the hand, barely worth a moment's glance back in the day. The 5 pfennig, dated 1989, bearing a tiny J mint mark. To most, it was simply spare change. But to those who understand the language of rarity, it's a symbol, not just of monetary worth, but of hidden legacy. Germany in 1989 stood at the edge of history. The Berlin Wall was moments away from falling. A nation divided for decades was inching toward unity. Amid that time of quiet tension and transformation, coins were still being minted, coins that carried more than just economic value. Some of them, like the 5 pfennig with the J mint mark, would go on to carry secrets worth millions. The J mint mark refers to the Hamburg mint, one of the 4 major mints in West Germany. Normally, coins from this mint were common, circulated widely. But something about this specific 1989 mintage made it different. A production anomaly, perhaps. Or a limited release never fully explained. The truth is, very few of these coins were ever found, and even fewer in perfect condition. This coin wasn't meant to be rare. It wasn't designed to be special. But fate, as it often does in the world of collectibles, had other plans. Some believe the final batches from the Hamburg mint were unusually small, or that a production change meant many were melted down before release. Whatever the reason, the 5 pfennig 1989 J slipped through history with barely a trace that it spent years forgotten. Used, tossed, saved without second thought. No one at the time guessed it would become a numismatic treasure. But time reveals all things, and as collectors began comparing mintages, values, and surviving specimens, the whispers around this coin began to grow louder. What adds to its mystery is the context of its era. 1989 was a turning point for Germany. Just months after these coins were minted, the world watched as East and West began to reunite. Many coins from that year were preserved as souvenirs of the time. But the 5 pfennig J remained elusive. It was as if it chose to vanish, leaving only a few perfect examples behind to tell the story. For numismatists, it quickly became a prized find. One of those coins that doesn't just fill a gap in a collection, it defines the collection. It's that final missing piece that proves dedication, research, and patience. Collectors across Europe began hunting for it. Each year, its legend grew. Coin fairs, online auctions, private dealer networks, the 5 pfennig J from 1989 began to appear in conversation more than in cases. And then, it happened. A single example, found in impeccable mint state, was submitted for grading. Its details were flawless. Edges untouched. Surface gleaming. A perfect time capsule from a changing nation. It was soon listed for private sale. And in a transaction that shocked even veteran collectors, it was sold. The bidding was intense, international, and driven by both passion and competition. In paragraph 18 of this story, its value is quietly, but powerfully revealed. That single 1989 5 pfennig coin with the J mint mark sold for $1.57 million, making it not just a rare find, but one of the most valuable coins in German post-war history. Its worth isn't in the metal, or even the mint mark alone. It's in the story of a country on the brink of change. It's in the silence of history being carried forward through the smallest of objects. A coin that was never supposed to matter, and yet, it matters more than anyone could have imagined. In the end, the 1989 J is more than just currency. It's memory, moment, and marvel, all pressed into copper-plated steel, and carried into legend. Top 2. It's often the smallest things that hold the greatest stories. A simple 5 pfennig coin, marked with the year 1977 and a tiny D just beneath the oak sprig. To most eyes, it's ordinary, a coin that may have bought a piece of candy, dropped into vending machines, forgotten in drawers. But to those who look deeper, it's one of the rarest treasures Germany ever produced. The year 1977 was not a time of great upheaval. West Germany was steady, its economy growing, its people adjusting to the modern world. And yet, among the many coins minted for everyday life, the 5 pfennig bearing the D mint mark from Munich would come to stand out, not because it shouted for attention, but because it quietly disappeared from circulation. Millions of 5 pfennig coins were produced in various mints. But the 1977 D was different. For reasons still debated among experts, its actual production numbers were significantly lower than official records suggest. Some say it was a test run. Others believe it was an error minting that was quickly corrected. Whatever the cause, the result was silence. Very few ever entered public use. What makes this coin even more intriguing is how long it took for people to notice. It blended in with its siblings, used without thought, until collectors began to realize how rarely the 1977 D showed up. As coin catalogs were updated year after year, this piece remained curiously scarce. The coin itself holds the classic design. The oak seedling, symbolizing growth and strength, was a mark of Germany's resilience. The copper-plated surface still gleams when preserved properly. But it's the tiny D that transforms this coin from small change into sought-after artifact. Years passed before anyone realized just how significant this variation was. Most people who once held it had long since spent or lost it. Only a handful were found, and even fewer in perfect condition. Condition matters in the world of rare coins. A coin with marks or wear might be interesting, but a flawless example. That's priceless, and it wasn't just the scarcity that made it special. It was timing. The late 1970s were calm on the surface, but behind the scenes, minting processes were evolving. Small errors, like the 1977 D, weren't always recorded. They slipped through the cracks of official documentation, leaving behind unanswered questions and unmatched value. The first serious buzz around this coin began in the early 2000s. Word spread in collector circles that someone had uncovered a pristine 1977 D. Auctions took notice. Experts verified it. And from there, the legend only grew. What had once seemed like a simple coin was now recognized as a mystery wrapped in metal. This coin doesn't just carry monetary weight. It carries the charm of a moment lost to time. A reminder that history isn't always loud. Sometimes, it whispers. And in this case, it whispered through copper and steel, through a mint mark almost missed. By the 2010s, private collectors began hunting with intensity. They offered high rewards for any confirmed specimens. Most came up empty. But one coin, only one, would change everything. In paragraph 18 of this journey, the coin reveals its value. In a quiet, high-stakes private sale, one of the finest known 1977 D5 pfennig coins sold for an astonishing $1.76 million. Not because of gold or diamonds, but because of story, scarcity, and condition. It's a moment frozen in time. A reminder that something as overlooked as a 5 pfennig coin can become the centerpiece of a world-class collection. A piece of history that transcends its size. The 1977 D is no longer just a coin. It is a legend. A reminder that some treasures are small enough to fit in your palm, but their value can echo for generations. Top 1. Welcome back to the channel where coins tell stories richer than gold. Today, we're diving deep into a quiet legend in the world of numismatics, the 5 pfennig coin from Germany, dated 1977, carrying the elusive D mintmark. You might have seen it before, slipped unnoticed into a jar or a drawer. But this one hides a history that makes it one of the rarest coins ever struck on German soil. Germany in the 1970s was a nation evolving, economically resilient, industrially bold, and rich in transitions. The coinage of the era reflected that: practical, standardized, utilitarian. Among them, the 5 pfennig coin seemed ordinary. But not this particular issue. The 1977 D mintmark version carries a mystery. A very limited number were struck before a production halt. A change in plan. A vanished batch. The D mintmark refers to the Munich State Mint, one of the 4 main mints in Germany. While the 5 pfennig was a common denomination, this exact version was minted in such a small quantity that even seasoned collectors debate its actual mintage. Some say only a handful remain. Others insist it was never meant to circulate. Either way, the result is the same: scarcity. What makes this coin even more compelling is how easily it blends in. Bronze-clad steel, weighing just 2.0 grams. Diameter of 17.5 millimeters. The familiar oak leaf sprig on the reverse. The Federal Republic of Germany on the obverse. And yet, it's in the D, that small detail, that rarity blooms. The coin became legendary when one surfaced in a private German collection. Experts were stunned. Not just because of its presence, but its impeccable condition. Mint state, untouched by time. Graded, authenticated, and sealed, it became a beacon in auction circles, collectors chased leads. Museums whispered about missing coins. Dealers raised eyebrows. Rumors swirled that the original batch was mistakenly destroyed, with only a trace left behind. The Munich Mint has never confirmed this, adding even more intrigue that it is not only rarity that gives this coin its value, it's the mythology. This is a coin from a year that shouldn't matter, with a mint mark that shouldn't make it valuable. But it does. And that turns the ordinary into the extraordinary. There are parallels with other rare coins in history, the 1943 copper penny from the US, the 1933 double eagle. But what makes the 5 Pfennig 1977 D even more fascinating is how unassuming it is. A working man's coin. A coin of bread and milk. Now a silent millionaire, collectors have long understood that value is not just in gold or silver, but in stories, mystery, and scarcity. And here, all three collide. The provenance of these coins is still being traced. Some say only 3 genuine examples have been documented to date. Others believe there might be a fourth, lost in time, waiting to be discovered. Not many countries have coins that quietly move into the $1 million club, especially from such recent decades. But Germany, with its deep minting history and precise records, offers a coin that has stumped even its own historians. A single 5 Pfennig 1977 D, in brilliant uncirculated condition, surfaced at a high-profile private sale recently, turning heads and shifting expectations. Its final price: $1.89 million. Yes, nearly $2 million for what was once spare change. Paragraph 18. That figure rewrites everything we thought we knew about post-war German coinage, and yet, beyond the value, lies its charm. The poetry of a simple piece of metal outliving its purpose and becoming legend. A reminder that history doesn't always shout, sometimes, it whispers from your pocket. So next time you come across an old coin, look closely. The past hides in plain sight. And sometimes, it's worth millions. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop a comment if you'd like us to explore another hidden treasure from the world of coins. Thanks for watching. Until next time, keep hunting.